Hi everyone. I wanted to share a video with you of 10 books that I don't think I've ever seen anyone recommend. And they're all either 4 stars or 5 stars on Goodreads. Some of the authors are my favorite authors, and some I've never heard of, but the books sound good. So, to start with, and I pulled prompts out of my book jars, and then that's how I, found these books. So this one is boring. It's just published in October. This one is Cruel, Beautiful World by Carolyn Levitt. And the cover is just so pretty. Like, I love it. And the synopsis is, it's 1969 and 16-year-old Lucy is about to run away with a much older man to live off the grid in rural Pennsylvania. A rash act that will have frightening repercussions for both her and her older sister, Charlotte. As Lucy's default caretaker for most of their lives, Charlotte has always been burdened by having to be the responsible one, but never more so than when Lucy's dream of a rural paradise turns into a nightmare. With precise, haunting prose and indelible characters, Cruel, Beautiful World examines the infinitesimal distance between seduction and love, loyalty and duty, and most of all, tells a universal story of sisterhood and the complicated legacy of family. So, sounds good and looks really pretty. Oh, and it is 4 stars on Goodreads. And the genres are historical fiction, family, coming of age, and romance. And this one is one of those really soft covers. It's just really super soft. And the book prompt that I pulled for this one was musical instrument on cover, which fits perfectly. This was a Goodreads win. The Things We Don't Say by Roberta R. Carr. Look at the cover. I mean, look at that. I love music, so like the violin is like amazing. Let's see the synopsis. Lilia Bennett Parker has 2 loves. Oh, I guess it's a cello. Her cello and Matt Campbell. She's not ready to settle down with her handsome, kind partner, though. When an incredible offer to join a symphony orchestra comes her way, she moves 3,000 miles to pursue her dream. In California, Lilia quickly makes new friends, including Mai Lee, a violinist preparing to raise a baby as a single mother. Meanwhile, back in Pennsylvania, Matt feels trapped by his responsibilities to his family and discontented with the increasingly commercial direction his software company is taking. After social media and Skype prove to be poor substitutes for face-to-face time, Matt and Lilia are tempted to end their relationship. When a friend asks Lilia for an enormous favor, and Matt winds up in the midst of a hurricane, they must both decide what matters most to them. When they choose the lives they want, will they choose each other? On the cover it says, "Can love survive temptation and tragedy?" So, oh, the cover's so soft. And it is 5 stars on Goodreads, but there's not very many ratings. So go buy this book. And it just says romance on there, so. And the next book is interesting because these are both Goodreads wins. So this one is The Things We Don't Say. And this one is Everything We Don't Say. So that was rather interesting. Okay, this one, when I pulled a prompt out of my jar, it said, oh, boring, published in November, so it's easy to find. Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Bart. I've had this for a couple years. Okay. Juniper Baker was 19, college bound and deeply in love on the night her world was torn apart. As fireworks lit up the summer sky, her neighbors were brutally murdered right outside their barn. And, to her horror, her younger brother became the prime suspect. In an instant, everything she loved fell away. She escaped, pledging never to return. Until now, officially, Juniper is back in town to help a friend. But really, she's here to repair her relationship with her teenage daughter, the source of her deepest regret, and to solve the infamous Murphy murders. The key to both lies in the darkest secret of the long-ago summer night that's haunted her for nearly 15 years. As history begins to repeat itself in a local true crime podcast starts sniffing around, the race to the truth puts past and present on a dangerous collision course. Except this time in her daughter's life that hangs in the balance. So it says she's published You Were Always Mine, Little Broken Things, The Beautiful Daughters, and several more. I've never heard of her, but it's kind of cool. And it's 4 stars on Goodreads. Mystery, thriller, crime, family, and contemporary. So a little bit of everything. This one is one of my favorite authors. Out of my book jar, I pulled "11" on my Book Buddies TBR shelf. And I'm glad it was this one because I want to read it so bad. Sarah Morgan, The Summer Seekers. I love anything Sarah Morgan writes. She is from the UK or somewhere over there. And one of my book buddies got me this. She writes mainly it's all romance, and then she writes mainly holiday books. But this is the first one I've seen that is in the summer. It says 3 women, an epic road trip in the summer that changed it all. It says Kathleen is 80 years old. After she has a run-in with an intruder, her daughter wants her to move into a residential home, but she's not having any of it. What she craves, what she needs, is adventure. Liza is drowning in the daily stress of family life. The last thing she needs is her mother jetting off on a wild holiday, making Liza long for a solo summer of her own. Martha is having a quarter-life crisis. Unemployed, unloved, and uninspired, she just can't get her life together, but she knows something has to change. When Martha sees Kathleen's advertisement for a driver and companion to share an epic road trip across America with, she decides this job might be the answer to her prayers. She's not the world's best driver, but anything has to be better than living with her parents. And traveling with a stranger? No problem. Anyway, how much trouble can one 80-year-old woman be? Says as these women embark on the journey of a lifetime, they all discover it's never too late to start over. Another cute cover. I love it. Yeah, Sarah Morgan's really good. The only thing I dislike about her books is that they're long chapters. But she's really good. I love anything she writes. And another favorite author. My book jar, I pulled between 20 and 25 chapters, which her chapters are long too. Carolyn Brown, Hummingbird Lane, and I've read several of her books. Several. And they're all... Oh, I didn't tell you the last one. The Summer Seekers was travel, romance, and contemporary, and it was 4 stars on Goodreads. This one is 5 stars on Goodreads, which most of Carolyn Brown's books are 5 stars. Romance, family, and chick lit. And I tell you, my favorite book of hers was The Strawberry Hearts Diner. Read that book. It brought me out of a book slump, and I absolutely had every emotion that you could have in that book. It was awesome. So here's Hummingbird Lane. And let's see. True friendship is an art. Ever since childhood, Emma Merrill and Sophia Mason were bound by a passion for painting. Like all young best friends, they promised to never lose touch. But the girls came from different worlds, and their paths diverged when Emma went to an elite college and Sophie worked her way through state school. After a decade, they've reconnected, both in a time of need. Emma has been struggling with depression since her college years, and she's lost herself under the suffocating influence of her controlling and manipulative mother. Sophie, under pressure to prepare for an upcoming gallery show, whisks the fragile Emma away to a small artist colony in South Texas. It's a raw and beautiful landscape where wildflowers bloom, and perhaps Emma can bloom there too. In the company of such nurturing and creative strangers, especially Josh Corlin, the open-hearted manager of the commune, Emma allows herself to breathe again. For Sophie and Emma, it's the perfect place for reflection and to finally share the secret burdens each has carried. Most of all, it's a chance to rediscover their true selves and to make good on the old promise that their friendship will last forever. And yeah, all of her books take place in Texas too. So, that's pretty too. Another favorite author, I can't talk today. Out of my book jar, I pulled, and this is kind of cheating, Shoes on the Cover. Well, it's not really cheating because she has shoes on. The Restoration of Celia Fairchild by Marie Bostwick. Marie Bostwick is so... Well, her and Carolyn Brown both are so real life, like, their books could absolutely happen. Like, I love them both. And Marie Bostwick, if you haven't read her, what I recommend is the Cobbled Court Quilt series. It's 7 books, and it's about this group of quilters, and each book kind of adds a new character, but it fits in well. It's not a bad idea. But Marie's really good. So let's see this one. Sometimes the perfect family isn't the one you're born with. It's the one you make with the people you love most. Very true. Celia Fairchild, known as advice columnist Dear Calpurnia, has insight into everybody's problems except her own. Bruised by the end of a marriage she thought was her last chance to create a family, Celia throws herself into showing she's perfect adoptive mother material. but proving she can provide a stable home and income is tough, especially after losing her job. Selling the house she's inherited from her recently departed estranged aunt, Calpurnia, may be Celia's only shot at motherhood. Upon returning to Charleston, Celia learns that Calpurnia had kept a secret. She had become a hoarder and the house is a wreck. Selling it will require a drastic, rapid makeover. The task of renovation seems overwhelming and risky, but with the help of new neighbors, old friends, and an unlikely sisterhood of strong, creative women who need her as much as she needs them, Celia knits together the truth about her estranged family and about herself. The Restoration of Celia Fairchild is an unforgettable novel of secrets revealed, laughter released, creativity rediscovered, and waves of unexpected wisdom by a writer Robin Carr calls my go-to author for feel-good novels. I agree. So this is one of, I don't know, let me see. It's one of her newer ones, but I don't know how new. 2021, and I call that new. So I'm sure she has newer books, but... And it is Chick Lit, Family, and Southern. And it's 4 stars on Goodreads. I pulled Red Cover out of my book jar and had to pick this one. The Parisian Christmas Bake Off by Jenny Oliver. Look at that cover. Like, the light is being funky. But that is so cute. And I don't care if I'm reading Christmas in summer. I haven't read her yet, but I have a couple of her books. It says, welcome to the most celebrated patisserie competition in Paris. Ready, steady, bake. Watching snowflakes dust the Eiffel Tower, Rachel Smithson knows her commitment-phobic ex is probably already kissing someone else under the mistletoe. But Rachel hasn't come to Paris to mope. Super chef Henri Salernet is searching for Paris's next patisserie apprentice. And Rachel is here to bake. With just 1 week to prove she can produce melt-in-the-mouth macaron and perfect profiterole? I don't know how to say that. Rachel needs no distractions. But along with wafts of chocolate and sugar, there's a touch of Christmas magic in the air. And even though Rachel isn't looking for a fairy tale romance, the City of Love might gift wrap her one anyways. And it says on here, there's a picture of the little Christmas kitchen. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I have that one too. It just sounds so good. It's so cute. And I think I paid like 50 cents for it. And it's 4 stars on Goodreads. It's romance and contemporary. I want to read this book so bad. It sounds so good. This, well, here, book jar prompt, I pulled 47th on my bookshelf. And I've been wanting to read this forever. I got it at the Dollar Tree. And I have not liked any of the books I got at the Dollar Tree. So this is a challenge. But it sounds so good. Grace After Henry, and I cannot say the author's name. The synopsis is, when the life of her life, Henry, is killed in a freak biking accident, Grace feels like she's lost her own shadow. In his absence, she must put her world back together. She moves into the Dublin dream house they bought together. She returns to work as a chef. She watches TV with her nosy elderly neighbor. But through it all, she's ever aware of the growing Henry-shaped hole in her life. until his long-lost twin brother knocks on her door. Newly arrived in Ireland on his own search for answers, Andy is Henry, and yet not quite. Soon Grace isn't sure if she's learning to let go or becoming desperate to hold on. Grace After Henry is a funny, tender, and bittersweet story about love, loss, and second chances. I don't know. It's cute. Sounds really good. And it is 4 stars on Goodreads. Romance, contemporary, and Irish. And this one. I could eat the cover. When in Doubt, Add Butter by Beth Hardison. Look at the cover. Those cupcakes. Let's see when it came out a while ago. Oh, and my book prompt, drink or food on cover, and I immediately went for this book. So, let's see. 2012. I've had this book that long. Okay. Oh, is it inside? It's inside. As far as Gemma is concerned, her days of dating are over. In fact, it's her job to cater other people's dates, and that's just fine by her. At 37, she has her own business, working as a private chef, and her life feels full and secure. She's got 6 steady clients who keep her more than occupied. There's Lex, the fussy but fabulous department store owner who loves oysters, Rockefeller, and 1950s comfort food. Willa, who needs to lose weight under doctor's orders but still believes butter makes everything better. A colorful family who may or may not be part of the Russian mob. And uber wealthy Georgetown family. The picture perfect Van Houtens, whose matriarch is allergic to everything. And finally, a man she calls Mr. Tuesday, whom she has never met, but to whom she feels a magnetic attraction. For Gemma, cooking is predictable. Recipes are certain. Use good ingredients, follow the directions, and you are assured success. Life, on the other hand, is full of variables. So when Gemma's takes an unexpected turn on a road she always thought was straight and narrow, she must face her past and move on in ways she never would have imagined. Because sometimes in life, all you need is a little hope, a lot of courage, and, oh yes, butter. I mean, just, like, I want her other books just to look at the covers. That's awesome. And let's see. It's 4 stars on Goodreads, romance, humor, and contemporary. And the last one, another favorite author. And a really soft cover. And usually I don't find her books in hardcover. Well, I have several of her books in hardcover. The older ones. The newer ones I seem to only find in paperback. Lisa Scottolini, After Anna. Like, so many people have read this book, and I'm like way behind the times. It says, nobody cuts deeper than family. Lots of blurbs by lots of famous authors. Oh, my book prompt was blue spine. It's definitely a blue spine. Let's see. 2018. Okay. Dr. Noah alderman, a widower and single father, has remarried a wonderful woman, Maggie, and for the first time, he and his young son are happy. Maggie is happy too, except for the fact that she longs for Anna, the teenage daughter she hasn't seen since she was a baby. One day, Maggie gets a call from Anna, and she's overjoyed to get a second chance to be a mother to her daughter, whom she thought she lost forever. But no one would have ever guessed that everything would go wrong, and so quickly. And Maggie, ecstatic to have her daughter back, ignores the red flags that hint at the trouble brewing in a once perfect marriage and home. Events take a heartbreaking turn when Anna is murdered, and Noah is tried for the I can't read it. The light's not. And Noah is tried for the crime. Maggie must face not only the devastation of losing her daughter, but the realization that Anna's murder may have been at the hands of the husband she loves. In the wake of this tragedy, new information drives Maggie to search for the truth, leading her to discover something darker than she could ever have imagined. I wasn't expecting Anna to die. Now that makes me sad. I don't know if I want to read it. So there you go. 10 books. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of my favorite authors. So, haven't read any of them. I'm going to get there. I have read their other books. So, here's you some suggestions for really good authors. Bye, guys. Have a good day.